Your move, your move.
What's up guys, it's Rogue here and welcome to another amazing deck profile on the channel. So for today I'm hitting you up with yet another Invoked deck profile. There's a few good reasons as to why, if you people are wondering. So one of the reasons is because I have now gone 2 weeks undefeated in a 5-round tournament. The results after 2 weeks, 10 games is 8 wins and 2 draws with this exact list. So I'm very happy with that. Trying to put Invoked back on the map. And the second reason is I just love Invoked, and if I can make a Invoked deck profile, you bet that I will. So with all that being said, make sure that if you are new that you do subscribe to the channel. I shall be announcing a brand new giveaway for February, as January has just passed now. I have not forgotten about that giveaway, don't you worry about that. And just make sure you stick around so you can be part of it. All you need to do is just be subscribed and like the videos. So without any further ado, let's get straight into this Invoked deck profile. Starting us off with the main deck, which is 42 cards, we have Triple Alistair the Invoker. Now, he is part of the smallest engine in the deck. I think I've now got the engine down to like 8 cards or something like that. But he is by far the most important aspect of our deck. You may think why? It's because of the versatility and utility that he provides. He's a spellcaster, he's your normal summon, he's a level 4, and he's dark. So all those things help out. The fact that he's dark allows for the Dark Charmer plays. The fact he's level 4 means that you can, with any bestials, you could play Chaos Angel. I think I've cut it from my last build, but that is an option. And he's just very versatile and grabs you your invocation and lets you do cool fusion summons. So that is why Triple Alistair, it wouldn't be an Invoked deck without it. And of course, to accompany Triple Alistair, we have Triple Magical Meltdown. Now, Magical Meltdown is essentially the 4th, 5th, and 6th copy of Alistair the Invoker, but also it provides you amazing protection when you fusion summon. The opponent cannot negate fusion summons, so they can't like Solemn Judgment, your branded fusion or invocation, which is fantastic. But also, they cannot activate cards or effects in response to your fusion summon monster's effects on summon or within the Magical Meltdown window, which is absolutely fantastic and allows you to basically summon Mirror Jade and on summon use his quick effect to banish something, and your opponent just can't respond to that. So that's absolutely fantastic. To round off the engine, we of course have the 1 search target in invocation. We obviously need to play it because we play Alistair, and the 1 terraforming. This is to max out consistency. We want to be seeing Alistair the Invoker every single hand. He is versatile, he is very important, and the more that we see Alistair, the better our chance of winning the game goes. Why 1 invocation? Because you don't really want to be opening invocation without Alistair. We don't really play the right targets for it to just be a polymerization. So we just literally relying on invocation for its invoking effects of using Alistair and the graveyards and things like that. So we're playing 1 invocation. I think that's perfectly fine. If your locals has a lot of people on DD Crow, you could play 2 invocation. I have thought about it, but for now invocation at 1 has been perfectly fine. And of course terraforming is just another copy of our Magical Meltdown. Just be careful because it does play more into Droll, obviously. So that is it for our Invoked package. I'm very happy with it. I think, it's still an amazing engine, even in the year of 2024. Let's move on to an engine that no one really I've seen splash into Invoked because they're too busy focusing on the Fire Kings at the moment. We have the Diabellstar wanted engine, I guess you can say, the Sinful Spoils engine. And the Black Witch, I play 2. It is such a versatile card in combination with Alistair. You have no idea. So you can, for example, normal summon Alistair, get invocation, link off into your secure Gardener, which wouldn't usually be able to leave the field because you can't use it for link material, and just send it to the grave for the Black Witch to fuel basically a free body and a set as well. So absolutely fantastic card. Works so well with Invoked. I don't think a lot of people expect just how well it has been working. I don't even think my opponents have really understood why the deck's been doing so well, and then when they go against me and they see just how good Black Witch synergizes with Alistair, they're like, I see why, we're not hand trapping you correctly, we're sort of underestimating the Invoked package and what it does offer in combination with the Sinful Spoils. We have one Jet Synchron as well. He is a brick, I know that, but he is a brick that I am happy playing because he provides, again, access to our Synchro line, which is the Borrowed Savage, and allows you to put up that Omni Negate before you even activate your invocation. So I think that is just, versatility like that is something that is very hard to give up. You can give up, but then again, there's no real point in playing the Sinful package if you do get rid of Jet Synchron, because he's your only level 1 fire target in the deck. So Jet Synchron, I think, is mandatory. Helps with link climbing as well if you don't feel like synchroing. And you can use them for fusion summons as well, because we do have Purgatrio in the deck as well. So just an accessible fire that we can summon out the deck, link away, and give us access to Purgatrio. For the spells accompanying this engine, we of course play Triple Wanted, Seeker of the Sinful Spoils. I know this card is really expensive, guys. I understand you. But if you're trying to play Invoked in the best variation possible, I really do advocate for this card. I think this card provides so much for the deck that without it, I mean, you could play the Shaddoll package. I just think the Wanted package is levels above it. For consistency reasons, for the fact it gives you so many bodies, draw power, it's an insane card. And it's a shame it's so expensive. I hope Konami reprints it for everyone to have access to. But until then, I think, it is going to be behind that paywall. And there are alternative budget options that you could play. You could play the Shaddoll Schism package. I know that's only one card realistically, so you would have to fill out the extra spaces with maybe more hand traps or ward breakers. But I just think it's crucial, in my opinion. Testing of this deck, I think this engine's crucial now. I wasn't sure about it in the beginning, but now I think it's mandatory. And we have the one, of course, the original Sinful Spoil Snake Eye, just the 1-for-1. And yeah, I love this card. You can send face-up cards. You don't have to send monsters. Magical Meltdowns you can send if you don't need the protection, for example. Just very versatile card as well. So that is our Sinful Spoil package. I couldn't recommend it highly enough. It's amazing. For our branded package, we have, of course, the one Fallen of Albaz and the triple branded fusion. You guys know I love my max rarity Invoked, and I will be trying to pick up my playset of Ulti-branded fusions. I think just waiting for the Rarity Collection 2 to be announced. I don't want to purchase the Ulti-branded fusions, then them get a QCR print. That would hurt a little bit. So I'm just waiting on that. As soon as the list is confirmed, I will purchase my Ulti-branded fusions, and I will be one step closer to the max Invoked deck. Remember, the more max rarity a deck is, the better it plays. It's just a Konami fact. I'm just, don't shoot the messenger, I just work here. Branded Fusion, again, the versatility this card provides is insane. The only negative synergy it has in the deck is with the Sinful Spoils package, because the Sinful Spoils package will allow you to synchro. And of course, if you use Branded Fusion, you are not going to be able to synchro. You would be locked into fires. So just be careful of that. But I think Branded Fusion works so well with the next engine I'm about to show you, the next two engines I'm about to show you, that it's just a mainstay. If they told me you have to cut an engine, would I cut Branded Fusion? I'm not sure. I know Mirror Jade isn't as amazing as it once used to be, but I still think a Quick Effect Banish with follow-up is still insane. And of course, it allows us to send different light targets from our deck to the graveyard, which we will abuse with the cards I will be showing you in further down the line. I will tell you which are the light targets we will be sending to maximize our Branded Fusion plays. So amazing. With Meltdown, of course, they can only Ash it. They won't be able to Judgment it. They won't be able to do anything to your fusion monsters on summon. So no imperm on the Albions and things like that. So yeah, Branded Fusion with the one Albaz. If you draw the Albaz, it's not too bad either. Obviously, you'd prefer it in the deck. However, I have normal summoned this a couple times to break boards or force interaction, I guess you can say. For our next engine, we have the Bestial engine. We have the one Bestial Lubellion. We have the two Bestial Druisworm, and the one Bestial Magnamut and the two Bestial Druisworm. Got ahead of myself there. So this is sort of the engine you are going to be abusing with your Branded Fusion. Why, you ask? Because Lubellion is a light. What we're going to be sometimes a cool play you can do, let me try and get it out the glare for you guys. Sometimes a cool play you can do is you can send Bestial Lubellion, summon Ash Dragon, and then tribute Ash Dragon for the Bestial Lubellion, kickstarting your Domatica engine at the end phase, while also getting you a light monster on the field to then link away with your Alistair. Not link away, sorry, because we've used Branded Fusion, but fusion away with your Alistair for a Mikaba. But also we play the one Branded Regained as well. So this means that the Lubellion will be able to place the Branded Regain. Let me try and get it all in frame for you. I haven't done a good job of that right now. The one Branded Regained, you play it because the Lubellion will place it, and then when you activate Invocation and banish Lubellion, you can put it at the bottom of the deck, draw a card, and of course Alistair will be added back to your hand with Invocation. So your banishes literally become free. Your fusion summons are essentially free now. You don't even have to banish because Branded Regain will be able to put it back, and Invocation adds Alistair back. So amazing. And of course they act as pseudo hand traps as well, but also just really cool extenders and board breaking capabilities with Yugioh as well. I really enjoy this engine. Another engine we have here, another engine I think is still so severely underrated, and I think playing this deck just shows you how good this engine still is in 2024. I know it's been a bit power crept by the Sinful Spoils engine. Playing both, you see that this engine is still ready and still able to put up a good fight. We have the one Dogmatic Ecclesia and the one Dogmatica Fleur-de-Lis. The Dogmatica engine, the thing I like about it is that you can do it at the end of your plays. That means you've used the extra deck as much as you need, and then you commit to locking yourself out of the extra deck. So absolutely amazing. Remember that if you can just summon Ecclesia, if you don't use her effect, you are not extra deck locked. That means you have a free level 4 light extender if you do need it for your invoked plays. And then of course, if you don't banish it, Nadir's Servant can grab back from the graveyard anyway. So absolutely fantastic. And Fleur-de-Lis, of course, is a summon and non-targeting negate as well, which outs quite a lot of things, and they have to respond to it in the hand, which can be awkward for the opponent at times. We have triple of the Nadir's Servant. Now, this card is cracked. Let me try to get it out the glare for you guys. I'm sorry I'm not doing a great job. I'm recording this quite early on, so the glare is not the best. With triple Nadir's Servant, this card is absolutely amazing. Just the amount of engines you play in the deck means that even if they interrupt one or two of your engines, you still have so many amazing engines that you'll still be able to push and establish a great board. I think that is something that my opponents have discovered. Oh, we'll imperm your Alistair, we can Ash your Branded Fusion, but you know, the Nadir's Servant at the end always gets us, and that's why I really like this. This is sort of you usually use this last, because it does lock you out the extra deck. But just the one Nadir's Servant can send an Enters to the graveyard to pop a card, grab your Ecclesia, special Ecclesia, get Fleur, or the Dogmatica Punishment if you send Ash Dragon, and it basically gets you 1 to 2 disruptions alone with interruption with the monster you sent from the graveyard if it's Enters. So fantastic engine, couldn't recommend it highly enough. And of course, we play the one Dogmatica Punishment because Nadir sent Ash Dragon, search Ecclesia, special Ecclesia, search Punishment, and then end phase Ash Dragon will grab you your Fleur-de-Lis anyway. So it just makes sense playing this card because it's free and allows you to grab a Fleur-de-Lis in the end phase instead of just with Ecclesia, getting maximum use of your Ash Dragon. And also, hard opening this isn't that bad either because you go 2 for 1 by sending an Enters to the graveyard with this as well. So fantastic card. And I'm going to keep it in the deck for now. Also, if you're scared of evenly matched, you can make a Macabre, search this, keep it in your hand, and then you can negate evenly matched as well. So, fantastic card. And just, I guess, generic-ish monsters is 2 Kashtira Fenrir. You can argue this is a Kashtira package. I just think playing 2 Fenrirs is pretty mandatory in most decks because it just grants you that card advantage, and it's essentially like a free boss monster. Really good with your wanted package as well. It just fuels your discards and sends by itself, so fantastic. For the hand traps, we only play 6 excluding the Bestials. We play triple Ash Blossom because this is just still amazing and we finally got our 3 QCRs. So even better, we'll see them every game now because we have our QCRs. But Ash Blossom, yeah, fantastic card. Really good in the branded matchup. Good into the Sinful Spoils and Fire King matchup as well. It is a fire, so be careful about that. They can heat to reborn it, but just an amazing card. And I play triple Infinite Impermanence as well. Just effect negation is very useful, and drawing this as a 6th card is always fantastic because it will trade 1 for 1 with a negate. So that is why I play it. We have double Forbidden Droplet. I added this card in over Call By and 1 Pot of Prosperity, and I haven't looked back since. This card is fantastic. The versatility you can get with this. Activate Invocation. They go to negate. Forbidden Droplet. Send the Invocation to graveyard and just negate. Or cards you're already going to be activating. You can hit them with an Imperm Droplet duo. It's really cool as well. And you can actually play around Drone and Lockbird with this card. So when you add a card, if you're fearful of Drone and Lockbird, with priority after on resolution of adding a card, you can activate Forbidden Droplets, send a monster from your hand or field to the graveyard, negate something on the field, and then after this resolves, your opponent can no longer droll you because they cannot respond with Drone and Lockbird in chain because you sent a monster, and then after the resolution, you haven't added a card to deck at that moment, so the droll has just completely whipped. So that is why I really like Droplet. It's like a pseudo Call by the Grave in very niche scenarios. That doesn't come up too much. I gotta be honest with you guys. It's just something that you need to know in case it ever does. And for the last two spells, we just play double Pot of Prosperity. This is a 42 card deck. I was considering cutting Prosp to just play 40. In my head, that would mean I just see the card I want instead of drawing the Prosperity. But there are times that you can open very awkward hands, and Prosperity does help you sort of fill out the missing parts. So I think playing 42 with 2 Prosp is better than playing 40 cards without Prosp. It does conflict with Regained, and it does conflict with the Sinful Spoils engine because you can't draw. But I think it's still worth playing, even though it does conflict with the draws. I've taken it out, and I just feel it's more consistent with 2 Prosp, even though it's 2 cards more in the main deck. It's very weird to explain, but you just have to test it out and let me know what you guys think. So that is it for the main deck. Let's now go on to the extra deck, which has seen some changes as well. Moving on now to the extra deck member, we have our token for when we Nibiru our opponent and laugh. But starting off with the links, I am actually going to go in reverse order like I usually do. Let me just organize that very, very quickly. Okay, so to start off with our links, we have the 1 Link Karibo. We need to play Link Karibo because this makes Jet Synchron a 1-card SP. If we don't play Link Karibo, Jet Synchron can't threaten an SP because you won't have a way to link it off and then reborn it from the graveyard. So need to play the Link Karibo. Very useful in protecting your SP in some scenarios as well. We have the 1 Almirage into Secure Gardener package. We play this package until Konami releases a Synchro level 8 that just has an Omni Negate like Savage, but doesn't require an equip from the graveyard. Once that happens, we play the Magistus Artemis instead and save 1 extra deck space, which I think this deck would appreciate a lot as well. But for reasoning that I've pretty much mentioned already, we need to play the Almirage Gardener package. I would love to play the Artemis. It has a beautiful QCR, but we can't because Savage Dragon needs to equip a link from the graveyard to itself. And if we only play Magistus Artemis, we're going to be equipping our link that is a light, and then we're not going to be able to fusion from Inkaba. So sad, but at least this way we can equip Almirage, keep Secure Gardener in the graveyard or on the field, and then fusion it off with our invocation. So this is the reasoning. I know it sucks. I'm hoping Konami release a new level 8 Synchro soon that just has an Omni Negate, and then we can just play Magistus Artemis instead. We play the 1 Dark, the Dark Charmer Gloomy. This format, it's not as prevalent as it was in other formats. There's a lot of fire going around, so if you can cut a card, you can argue for it, but it just works so well when your opponent has a Dark Monster in the graveyard because it allows for the steal of the Dark Monster, and then you can either go into an SP, which I've mentioned multiple times in this video, and I'm going to just put it here. Sucks that you need to play a card like SP because it's so expensive, but it is worth it, guys. The Banish on Summon, if you use a extra deck monster, the quick effect Banish during your opponent's turn is just too much. SP Little Knight in a simplified game state is insane. Or if you don't feel like making SP Little Knight, you make your Celine, Queen of the Master Magicians. This can actually reborn your Black Witch or Alistair. So you can reborn the Black Witch, use its effect to set if you haven't done it that turn, get additional value, and then make your Access Code Talker, and then hopefully close out the game with this card. So a fantastic link package. When I first started playing Invoked, I played like 2 links, and over time I've just realized the versatility, even in a fusion deck, that link monsters do provide. Let's move on now to the fusion monsters, the invoked ones. We of course have our 1 Mekaba. Still a problem for some decks like Fire Kings if you can banish all their Fire King Avatar, Kai Avatar Kirin, I believe is the name. You can banish them, make sure they never touch the graveyard, you're in a good spot. We have our 1 Invoked Agoides. People don't actually know that this card exists, even still to this day. They're like, what is that? I'm like, it just pops on Special Summon, and whenever you Special Summon, it pops as well, and it can get absolutely huge. So it's a really cool card for closing out games. And I've actually added, from my last profile, a Invoked Purgatrio. Now, there's some reasoning behind this. One of the main reasons is that Fire Kings and Rescue Ace are very prominent in this meta, and this card can banish them from the graveyard to fusion summon, which is fantastic. But also, even if you're not playing against a fire deck, you have your Jet Synchron that you can tutor out at any given time with your Sinful Spoils engine to fuel your Purgatrio. So I thought it was stupid not to play it. There's been times where I've been wanting to make this, and making this, since it can attack everything once per turn, makes itself absolutely huge if your opponent has loads of cards on the field, and a Fix Piercing with a combination with the Alistair pitch from hand to gain 1,000, it would be like on 4k, and it could attack like 4 monsters and close out the game. So Purgatrio for now I think needs to stay. You can argue you can play Kaliga instead if you just want to floodgate decks like Flunderies and stuff like that. I'm playing Purgatrio for now, and it's performing very, very well. For our next fusion package, we have the one Mirror Jade, the Ice Blade Dragon, the one Albion, the Branded Dragon, and the one Titaniclad, the Ash Dragon. Now, since you're only playing 3 fusion monsters, 2 of them which mentioned Fallen of Albaz, because Mirror Jade's already going to be on the field, so these 2 will be in your extra deck. You have to be very careful with what you send with Nadir's Servant, because if you Nadir's Servant send the Ash Dragon away in later plays, when you make the Albion and you fusion into the Mirror Jade, you're not going to have a viable target to fuel Mirror Jade's effect to banish something on the field, because it needs to send a fusion monster that mentions Fallen of Albaz. So just be really careful with that. But I think Ash Dragon has been overperforming an insane amount. People don't realize you can just hard make Ash Dragon with Branded Fusion by sending Lubellion and Albaz, and that's 12 levels combined, meaning this card comes out with like 3,700 attack, and it is unaffected by activated monsters effects from that special summon from the extra deck, which is insane. And since you send Lubellion, you can push for damage, clear something, and it's unaffected by those monsters special summon from the extra deck. So it's very, very safe, very sticky. And then you contribute it off for your Lubellion, place Branded Regained into the Spell and Trap Zone, and then end phase kickstart your Dogmatica engine. That is one versatile card, and my opponents are starting to realize just how good this freaking card is. It's absolutely insane. I love Ash Dragon. Again, waiting for Rarity Collection 2 to be announced, and as soon as if it's not in there, I'm buying my secret immediately. For our last 2 monsters, we have the one Elder Entity Entis. I would absolutely love to play Garura, and when a Synchro 8 that replaces Borrowload Savage comes out, I'm definitely going to add Garura in, because I'll have 1 extra deck space to put back in. But until then, I can only really afford the Entis, and I think the popping of cards comes up more than the draws, because if I prosper, I can't even draw with Garura, whereas Entis, I can always pop a card. And then we have the one Borrowload Savage, again, an amazing card. Just a shame he has to equip from the graveyard. He has to equip a link. If he uses an Omni Negate without equipping, he'd be so much better, and then it would allow us to play them just as Artemis. But that's it for the extra deck. I'm now going to quickly, because I realize I've been blabbering on about my favorite deck, I'm going to quickly show you the side deck. Okay, so for the side deck, there has been some significant changes here as well. I feel like the more I play the deck, the more I can refine it and the better profiles I can give you. So starting off with the first card, it's actually a Win in Time card in the Scarlight Red Dragon Archfiend. Shout out to Dewi, who sold me his copy a while ago, first dead as well. Yeah. Why are we playing this card? Because we need a way to win in time. There's been too many times, pun not intended, where we've needed to have that bit of burn, and the deck this is one of the things the deck just can't do, is burn. So having this card in the side deck allows that. We side out the Savage Dragon, we side in the Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend, and then with our Sinful package, we make this Synchro 8 instead and burn our opponent in time for the win. So that is why I put him in. I don't even put him in a extra deck sleeve. I put him in a main deck sleeve and then switch him out, just so the opponent doesn't have that intel. If they can sort of see my side deck, I don't want to give any information away. You can argue that they're going to see me switching out sleeves, but then again, it could be any main deck at that point that I'm switching out, or if you can hide it better. Then I feel if you just have one white sleeve in your extra deck, and your extra deck is in your side deck, and your extra deck is white sleeve. So that is why I'm playing him, Win in Time, literally just for that. We have triple Nibiru. Shout out to my man Chandler, who did an amazing picture of Nibiru. He drew it on the wall. But triple Nibiru, you need this card to punish combo decks. You need some way to slow them down, and Nibiru does just that, in combination with your Drone and Lockbird. These two are specifically mostly for Dark Walls and Vanadium, more Vanadium, and the Droll hit goes super hard in the Dark World matchup as well. So you got to be really careful with those sort of decks that can just combo off and either loop your hand or just set up an impossible board to break. And that's why we need to play these in the side and just hopefully see them alongside your Ashes, your Bestials, alongside your Imperms, and hopefully just slow them down enough so that Invoked can take over the game. So that is it for monsters that I side in. For the spell and trap removal, I'm still rocking triple Cosmic Cyclone. Very good into the Centurion matchup by banishing their field spell. They can't synchro. Very good in the Fire King matchup. You can blow up their island and force all the interaction to happen in the draw phase, because it'll blow up all their monsters, and then if they have any reborns and pops, they'll have to happen right there and then. So really nice that you can force that against the Fire King matchup. And it's just useful in general in the Labyrinth matchup as well. You can be banishing, so that means they won't be able to recycle their welcomes. So just a crucial card. I have double Triple Tactics Thrust. Again, I know it's an expensive card, but I am trying to make the most meta version of Invoked, so you do sadly need to play these cards. This card is very versatile. It can grab you a lot of things. It can grab you Branded Fusion, it can grab you Terraforming, it can grab you Nadir's Servant. So it can grab you like 3 of the 5 engines you play alone before siding. So absolutely insane. You can also grab an Imperm and just, if your opponent has a monster, straight up negate it, which is cool. We have the 1 Change of Heart. This was Ultimate Slayer, but since I had to take out Typhon for the extra deck space, I just put in Change of Heart, and it's a good thrust target as well. Thrust into Change of Heart, take the monster, do its thing, and then link it away into either a SP Little Knight, since it's generic, or a Dark if you already have an Alistair in the field, and just don't give them the monster back, essentially. We play the 1 Harpy's Feather Duster as well. Again, just more punishment for the back row matchups. And then we play the 1 Evenly Matched as well. Again, punishing the back row matchups and the combo decks in this case. So that is the end of the deck profile. I hope you guys did enjoy. I know I went into a lot of depth. It's just because I really do love talking about Alistair, the Invoker. This is my favorite deck, I think, of all time, or getting there. And it's just something that I've been working on week by week. I've been getting the results. I've now 2 weeks undefeated with this deck. 10 games played, 8 wins, and 2 draws is nothing to scoff about in a very hyper-competitive locals as well. So this is my Invoked take. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you do subscribe down below. There will be the giveaway announcement video and the new giveaway video coming out very soon, so make sure you stick around for that. And I will see you all on the next video. Keep normal summoning Alistair.
It's time to